we are thrilled to introduce you to our next speaker at this point, Sandra Gonzalez Mangana. So Sandra is a product manager, and as such, she owns the TCO domain for Adobe Commerce. Her focus is on improving and simplifying upgrades for Adobe's customers. So without any further ado, please let me introduce you to Sandra.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this session. I'm glad to be here. I'm Sandra Gonzalez, Product Manager at Adobe Commerce, and I'm focused mainly on our products TCO. So my goal is trying to reduce your project's total cost of ownership. And today, during this time, I'm going to show you and talk about how to reduce your TCO by simplifying upgrades, which is one of the main things that impacts TCO. First, let me tell you what you're going to learn during these few minutes, 20-30 minutes. It's gonna take this session. So I'm going to show you what's the importance of an upgrade and the frequency, how important it is to make upgrades frequently. I will walk you through some best practices and tips that we recommend you to follow to have an optimized upgrade process. And then I'm going to talk about some of the initiatives that we're working on within Adobe to reduce the upgrade cost. We know it is very complex and difficult to manage, and we have plenty of initiatives to help with this. Start with an introduction. You all know very well what Magento is. So it is a fully featured commerce platform that can drive e-commerce from B2B to B2C in a hybrid case. It is highly extensible through its modular architecture, enabling businesses to tailor it to their specific needs. Our comprehensive REST APIs allows you to integrate it to other systems, while the GraphQL API allows you to integrate use multiple heads. It can be CMS or PWS. A CMS, one of the ones that we recommend is AEM. And just for you to know, AEM just released this quarter an extension, a headless extension for PWA Studio that is available already. With this extension, you will be able to leverage AEM content fragments within your PWA Studio. This will help you to maximize the variety of content that is available for you with a headless storefront. So, what is relevant and important for today's session is to consider and understand that systems as extensible as Adobe Commerce needs to be upgraded and stay up to date. This could include changes to GraphQL schema, which could impact storefront integrations, PHP API changes that impacts custom or third-party modules, and changes to REST API, which could impact enterprise integration with other systems. So, why upgrading? The answer is simple. There are 4 key reasons for upgrading and upgrading regularly and for keeping your system up to date. First, security. We know security is the #1 reason why our partners and merchants keep upgrading to the latest version. 83% of security incidents occur on outdated systems. IBM estimates that the average cost of a data breach is $3.86 million. Not cheap at all. The second reason is performance. Performance has always been key on websites, even more for e-commerce. Every second of latency has been shown to reduce the conversion rate by 7%. And page speed is a leading SEO ranking factor. So, taking advantage of each and every release is in the best interest of every business, for sure. Then we have the next one is quality, for sure. This is pretty self-explanatory. What we are doing to help you keep up to date with quality is changing the process on how we deliver quality fixes. I will talk a little bit more about this during this session. And the last reason for, of course, to upgrade to the newest versions are features. On every new release, we have always feature enhancements and new features delivered that will help you to keep your business up to date. So now, why you should upgrade regularly? We know upgrades are difficult, expensive, and it's very difficult for you if you work with a partner and multiple merchants to help them understand, to make them understand why it is so important to have this budget for upgrading regularly. It might seem counterintuitive, but performing regular platform updates requires less overall effort than infrequent updates. For example, one of our partners, Gorilla Group, has a retail client that has saved 4 weeks of cumulative effort and the associated cost over the past 12 months by moving to quarter upgrades. The case of delaying or deferring platform upgrades often comes down to the immediate cost. However, the accumulated technical debt and the real cost of running an outdated version of any critical software like Adobe Commerce can have a lasting material impact on a business. Merchants have always faced challenges in retail, but the digital age has increased pressure on them to change faster and often in unpredictable ways. And we know now more than ever after the last year and everything that we have gone through. So you need to be able to provide robust, personalized experiences across all touch points with no lapses in performance, uptime, and security. By upgrading and taking advantage of our improvements, fixes, and new features, you can innovate faster and future-proof your business. For sure. So, what impacts an upgrade? It is very important that you understand all the variables that have a direct or indirect impact on the cost of an upgrade. You must consider these variables at the beginning of each project, not just when it's time to upgrade. The development of a project is key to ensure future upgrades will be smooth and that you will be able to control the required effort to complete them. The level of effort to upgrade your Adobe Commerce instance depends upon 3 main factors. First, how you build your site, the amount of custom work, and the number of installed third-party extensions or modules strongly affects the complexity of an upgrade. The quality of the custom work, of course, can also determine whether an upgrade will go smoothly or not. The next one is the frequency of upgrades. Are you skipping multiple releases? As I mentioned before, skipping releases will make the next upgrade more complex. Upgrading from consequent versions will make the process easier and cheaper in the long term. Last one is, of course, the type of an upgrade. It depends if you are upgrading to a minor, a patch, or a major version, the cost of the upgrade and to complete the upgrade will be different. Now, let's go to the next topic, which I think it's going to be very interesting from all of us. What an upgrade should cost? This is a key question that you should be asking yourself and your team when starting a project. Again, upgrades is something that you should be considered from the beginning of the project, not only when it's time to upgrade. So you should be able to calculate what is the cost of your system over time. And for that, you need to take into account the money that you will need, the budget that you will have to invest to complete the upgrades that you're planning to have every year. If your project or projects are already live, then you know, or you should know, how much an upgrade is costing you. But I'm sure you're wondering if this is the regular upgrade cost expected for Adobe Commerce. For you to know, well, probably you already know, you are very aware of it. The upgrade cost might vary significantly from project to project. And that mainly depends on the factors that I just mentioned before. How you build your site, how many customizations you have, the quality of those customizations, also how frequent you're upgrading and to which version you're upgrading. So, but based on our experience and best practices, we know we have defined what we consider is the effort that you should invest on each type of upgrades that we have. First, we have a major release, which I will talk about each type of releases a little bit further, but major releases are very, very infrequent, is what we did, jumping from Magento 1 to M2. And these are very complex. They are rare, but they are very complex. And we estimate the cost is like a migration, and it's between 500 and 600 development hours. Then we have minor releases. These are much easier and straightforward if you follow our best practices and you have a good quality on your code. The estimation of these upgrades are between 20 and 50 development hours. And then we have security and patch releases, which should be between 16 and 24 development hours. So if your numbers are far away from these numbers, it means that there is a lot of room for improvement in your projects. You should be considering working on this as soon as possible. We recommend you audit your project and make adjustments to your environment to reduce the long-term maintenance cost. You have to think about these improvements as a long-term investment that it will pay. We know the cost of an upgrade might vary significantly from project to project. So if you want to reduce your TCO and the cost of each upgrade, here are some best practices that you should follow. It is important for you to keep in mind, if you are working on a project that is already in production, that upgrades are an opportunity for you to improve it and optimize it. This will help you for future upgrades and to have quarterly upgrades much more easier and simple, and at the end cheaper. That is what we're looking for. So if you manage multiple sites for different merchants, the best approach is to have a base instance with the main features and customizations you normally use. Use this as your testing site for completing and upgrading, and then do it on the others. This practice will give you the flexibility to reuse customized modules for different customers and simplify upgrades across different projects. If your project is live, we suggest you run an audit to determine its quality and understand how you can improve it to make upgrades more efficient. From the moment you start working on a project, you should consider how future upgrades are going to be impacted by the work that you're doing at the moment. So you should always follow our development best practices and coding standards. This is going to help you to keep the quality that you need to simplify your grades. If you haven't done already, you should begin adopting Adobe Commerce Extensibility platform. This platform will allow you to efficiently customize processes, integrate systems, and deploy new capabilities while maintaining a SaaS-like upgradability. As we continually expand the capabilities of Adobe Commerce, it is critical that you develop on the latest available release and define an upgrade strategy into your project plans at the beginning of the year. You will need to book a budget and resources to complete each upgrade. Remember, the upgrade effort might vary from project to project, so you should use your experience and knowledge to define the budget that you need for each upgrade and in general for the year. To help you plan and budget for upgrades, you should monitor our release calendar. You should plan to have the upgrade task within your team's backlog and have that ready with general availability. To help you to plan the upgrades, you can review and use our upgrade plan checklist. Then we have pre-release. So you should use pre-release version to learn about each release earlier. So if you have multiple stores, use pre-release on your base store and verify that your custom modules and themes are compatible with it. Then, of course, the upgrade compatibility tool. This will help you identify problems that must be fixed in your custom code before attempting to upgrade to a newer version. If you're using third-party extensions, validate their compatibility with the target version. And you should optimize your testing and make it as automated as possible. Following these best practices will help your site to remain secure, compliant, and up to date on the latest enhancements that allow you to grow sales faster, operate more effectively, and stay ahead of your competition, now and in the future. All these best practices are now available on our Dev Docs, so you can go there and look at them into. So now I've been talking about what you can do to improve the upgrade process, the actions on your side. But from Adobe, we've been working on multiple initiatives to make the upgrade process simple. So I'm going to walk you through the changes that we've done to the release process. Start dissecting our releases. It's very important that we all understand what is each of these releases and when do we release them. A major release is very infrequent and it's a completely new, there are a lot of backward incompatible changes that we release. It's what we've done from M1 to M2. Then we have minor releases. Minor releases are released every 12 to 18 months. We are focused on significant new features and it's normally not backward compatible. Patch releases are the ones that we release every quarter and it's focused on security and quality fixes. It also has some feature enhancements and it is mostly backwards compatible, but not always. And then we have hot fixes. These are quality fixes that we deliver through quality patches. Mapping each of these release types explained before, this is the planning of a regular quarter release. Moving forward, we will maintain 2-4 line with full releases, including security, performance enhancements, quality fixes, and feature enhancements. This will happen every quarter with some exceptions, like Q4. Q4, we are not releasing a full release because we've heard from we've heard your feedback, and we know now that during peak season is very infrequent and difficult for you to complete an upgrade. So we have postponed it for Q1 next year, the following year. But we do know that security is mandatory and is critical during the whole year and even more during peak seasons. So we keep the security line for 2.3 and 2.4. Looking at 2.3 line, we have moved to security only releases until the end of support that is planned for April 2022. Due to COVID, we have extended the support of the 2.3 line for 3 more months. That's why it's ending on April next year. We started with the security only patch process late in 2019, and we have seen this gain significant adoption. It now accounts for close to 50% of the upgrades done by merchants, with 74% of merchants saying that security patch is easy to install. So, closely related to 2.3 end of support, I want to very quickly touch on our life cycle policy. It's especially important to understand the quality and security policy. The timing to end support is based off of the release of a new minor version. For example, when Adobe released version 2.4, the clock starts ticking for 2.3 line. Adobe will provide quality fixes for the 2.3 line for 12 months after we release 2.4. Security fixes will be provided with an additional 6 months or a total of 18 months if we put them all together. The exception that we have done this year due to COVID is that we extended the support of 2.3 line for 3 more months, and that's why the end of support for 2.3 is April 2022. We have here the links to the Adobe Commerce Lifecycle Policy where you can see all the details about it. Then we have the release milestones. The release milestones are meant to help you complete an upgrade in a timely manner and much easier and faster. So we have first our beta program that was introduced early in 2020. And we now have over 90 partners. This is a partner-only program where we release non-general availability code and release notes for partners to start reviewing the impact of the release as well as to provide Adobe feedback. Next, we have pre-release, that is GA code. So it's the final code that we will release at the general availability date. But 2 weeks before, we give access to partners and commerce customers. So basically, it's not available for open source projects. The feedback on this program has been great. We have 84% of participants saying that it has helped them to better prepare for the next upgrade. And of course, then we have the general availability, that is the date when the release is available for everybody. Now, so as I just walked you through the release process and how we've changed it to make it easier and better for you to complete upgrades regularly, we will for sure try to keep updating it and changing it based on your feedback and your needs. But our vision is to have easy, fast, and smooth upgrades. And we have other initiatives that I'm going to share now with you. I'm going to show you the ones that we're working on that we believe are more impactful. First is the way we develop code. For some time already, we've been working on releasing new features that are independent of the core. Some are external modules and some others are like cloud services. The benefits of this approach are twofold. First, we're able to release new features outside of the code, outside of the quarterly release, following an independent calendar. And second, as we build new features outside of the code, or we remove existing features from the core, we are making the core slimmer, which will make the upgrade much more easier. Here are some examples of the features that we've released following this approach. So let's talk about a little bit about the upgrade compatibility tool. So while the ability to easily extend and customize Adobe Commerce is a unique differentiator, and the majority of our merchants finds huge value in it, it does make the upgrade process more complex. So in our continuous effort to make upgrades of customization instances easier, we are increasing the coverage of the upgrade compatibility tool. We released earlier this year the tool with an alpha version that it had PHP API and graph schema validations. And we are investing more on this tool because we believe this is going to be a key support to help commerce at the moment, commerce customers, commerce merchants to understand the impact of the upgrade much faster. With this easy-to-use commands and timely execution, in a matter of minutes, the tool helps programmatically identify places where conflicts might potentially occur between a custom implementation and the new commerce version to be applied. It's like giving developers a checklist to maintain regular updates of customized Adobe Commerce. Over the second half of this year, one area we are focused on for the increasing the scope of the tool is to make it easier to adopt the latest 2.4 version. And the goal of doing this is thinking on the end of support of 2.3 line in April 22. Additionally, we will be introducing scorecarding to identify whether code customizations follow Adobe Commerce best practices and coding standards to help ensure that commerce implementations are built to support the long-term maintainability. The new version of the tool is planned to be released with the next quarter update this month. So if you want to know more about the tool or share your feedback, you can reach out to our community Slack channel. So you have it here, Upgrade Compatibility Tool, or email us at uct@adobe.com. Extensions are critical to any commerce store and a key part of the Magento commerce ecosystem. However, they can make an upgrade more difficult if they are out of compliance with the latest release. That is why we recently updated the marketplace terms and conditions. Now, after every minor release, Magento 2 release in specific, extensions have 90 days to submit a compatible version, otherwise they will be delisted. After every quarter patch, Magento 2 release, extensions have 30 days to submit a compatible version. Extensions that do not pass this test or these validations will be also delisted. All delisted extensions will have their product pages available, but they won't be, and it will be also possible to download them from repomagento.com, but they won't be found on category or search pages. Extensions that are not compatible with any supported Magento Commerce release line will be removed from my marketplace completely after 30 days. Today, all marketplace extensions are compatible with 2.3 and or 2.4 line. So this is a major change. And with this, I finished my presentation, and I want just to leave you with this phrase. So upgrades can be easier, faster, and cheaper, but you need to plan and invest on them. Thank you very much. So I'm Sandra Gonzalez. You can reach me at sagonzal@adobe.com, And I'll be very happy to hear from you, your feedback, and any questions that you might have. I think we have a few minutes. I don't know if we can stay here or in the chat to talk a little bit more about this topic. Thank you very much. Bye. I'll be very happy to hear from you, your feedback.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you very much, Sandra. I was just so absorbed from your presentation earlier. So informative as well, and full of information for us as practitioners of the Magento upgrade. I have a few questions for you, if that's okay. Can you please tell us when is PHP version 8 going to be expected, please?
Yeah.
Sorry, and can you please comment if it's going to bring any improvements in performance as well?
Yeah, great question. And we're still defining dates for releases next year. Is something that we're working on. Yeah, as I mentioned during the presentation, a part of our goal is to update our processes to make it better and easier for our customers. So dates are still not defined, but we're planning to release PHP 8 early next year. So hopefully Q1, we will have already the latest version of PHP. And of course, it will have a lot of enhancements that are related with the PHP upgrades and benefits, security, mainly, of course, and performance as well.
Amazing. Thank you very much for this. And one of the questions that the audience had for you is, could you please expand a bit more on how to reduce the TCO for Magento 2, as it seems that Magento upgrades for Magento 2 are taking slightly longer than Magento 1 upgrades did?
The best way, from our point of view, the best way to improve and simplify upgrades is to follow our best practices. So I will recommend you to go to our best practices document that I shared before and that we announce and have public on our dev docs. So I will ask you to go there and have a look to it into much detail and try to follow each of these best practices. Probably it will be difficult to implement each of these best practices right away, but you can just start applying the ones that you consider are going to be easier for you, and you will see the benefit of using those best practices very soon.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And if I can squeeze one more question for you, is the upgrade tool also going to check for changes to functions, deprecated functions that have been removed in the new version, etc., please?
Yeah, actually right now we are going to deliver on the latest version the validation of core changes. So with this, we want to make sure that the core code of Magento Adobe Commerce is not changed. And we are also taking into account if the functions are either deprecated or removed from the code.
Brilliant. Thank you so very much, Sandra, for your time and for this incredible presentation. I hope you guys did enjoy Sandra and all the information that she provided.